I want you to stop, not permanently, just for tonight. Before you close your eyes and enter the state you have been entering every night, I want you to understand something about what you are actually doing, because most people who practice sats every night have never asked the most important question available to them. Not, what scene should I use? Not, how long should I stay in the state? Not, am I feeling it correctly? The question is simpler than all of those. Who am I when I enter that state? Not who do I want to become? Not who am I imagining myself to be? Who am I actually being in the moment I close my eyes? Because that identity, the one you carry into the state before the scene begins, is the one the subconscious receives, not the scene, not the feeling you generate inside the scene, the identity beneath both. And if that identity is still the person who does not yet have it, then no scene, however perfectly constructed, will deliver anything different. Stay with me, because what I am about to show you is the correction most practitioners never receive, and it begins not with a new technique, but with a single honest question. Most people approach sats as a performance. They prepare the scene, they arrange the details, they generate the feeling of the wish fulfilled, and they believe that this performance, however sincere, is what the subconscious receives. But the subconscious is not watching the performance, it is watching the performer. It is asking one question, always, without exception. Is this person someone who has it, or someone who wants it? And no amount of beautiful scene construction changes that answer, because the scene is on the surface. The identity is underneath, and the subconscious always reads beneath the surface. I have seen this in the most sincere practitioners. They construct their scene with great care. They feel it with genuine emotion. And yet underneath the scene, underneath the feeling, there is still the quiet, habitual, persistent identity of someone who is waiting, someone who hopes this session will be the one that finally works, someone who does not yet fully believe they are the person for whom it is done. And that identity, carried into the state night after night, is what the subconscious builds from, not the scene, the self. This is why I have always said the most important thing you can change is your concept of self, not your technique, not your scene, not the duration of your sessions, your concept of self, because the self you are when you enter sats is the self the subconscious will express in your world. Let me describe something I have seen repeated endlessly. A person finishes their day. They have spent hours in the ordinary world, working, speaking, reacting, moving through circumstances that have not yet changed. And in those hours, they have been, without choosing it, the person who does not yet have the thing they desire. They have felt the absence. They have noticed the gap. They have spoken to themselves in the quiet way that confirms the old identity. And then they lie down, they close their eyes, and they attempt to enter sats as a different person entirely, as the person who already has it. But they have not changed who they are. They have only changed what they are imagining. And the subconscious, which has been receiving the old identity for 16 hours, does not update itself in 10 minutes of scene construction. It honors the dominant impression, the one that has been running longest, the one that feels most like the truth. And the truth, after 16 hours of living from the old identity, is still the old identity. The scene plays out, the feeling is generated, and the subconscious receives it as what it is, a performance by someone who wishes things were different, not an assumption by someone who knows they already are. Tonight, before you enter sats, I want you to do something that has nothing to do with the scene. I want you to spend 5 minutes, just 5, becoming the person before you begin the practice, not by forcing a feeling, not by repeating an affirmation, by asking yourself one question and sitting with the answer. If it were already done, completely, irreversibly done, who would I be right now? Not what would I have, not what would I feel. Who would I be? How would that person sit in this room? How would that person carry themselves into sleep? What would the quality of their ordinary thought be, not in the scene, but in the moment before the scene begins? Sit with that. Let the identity settle before the scene begins. Feel what it is like to be that person, not in imagination, but in this room, in this body, in this ordinary moment. And then, from that identity, enter the state, not as someone performing a scene, as someone confirming what is already true. The scene becomes a natural expression of who you already are in that moment, rather than an attempt to become someone you are not yet. And the subconscious receives something entirely different, not a performance, a natural transmission from the self that already has it. And from that transmission, the bridge begins to build. I want to leave you with this. SATS is not the problem. The identity you carry into SATS is the variable, and the identity you carry into SATS is shaped by the identity you inhabit during the hours before it, which means the most important preparation for tonight's practice began this morning. In the first thought you had when you woke, in the way you moved through your day, in the quiet assumption you returned to automatically when nothing demanded your attention. You cannot separate your SATs from your ordinary hours. They are one continuous inner state. And the state that dominates is the state the subconscious builds from. So tonight, before the scene, before the state, before the practice, simply ask yourself, who am I? Not who do I want to be? Not who am I practicing being? Who am I right now, in this ordinary moment before sleep? And if the answer is not yet the person for whom it is done, take 5 minutes, just 5, and become that person first. Not through effort, through the quiet, deliberate decision to inhabit a different identity, and then enter the state from there, from that, from the self that already knows. That is the SATS that works, not the scene, the self